And if you will want to really eliminate worry, this is where you've got to begin. See, there are, if you will, two worlds. And we're going to be devoted to one or the other. There is the material world, right? Okay? Let's all break into a Madonna song now. There's a material world. And then there's this other world that we could be devoted to, and that's the spiritual world. And here's what's fascinating. The material world calls me to live one way, and the spiritual world calls me to live a different way. The material world says, here are things that matter most, pursue them. The spiritual world says, here's something else that really matters most. I want you to pursue them. And these two worlds are at odds with each other. The material and the spiritual. And what really matters in the material world? Well, in the material world, what really matters is the body. You know, my physical body. This is what matters in the material world. And so, my health is a really big deal. And I need to make sure that I got to eat right, and I got to sleep right, and I got to exercise right, and because my physical life, my physical health matters most. And by the way, consider that. Not only do I have to be healthy, but dude, I want to look good too. Right? Oh, not you. You know, and yet you took time to pick out clothes this morning, and most of the clothes you picked out were clean. Some of you on this earth, but they're clean. You know, you probably looked in the mirror this morning and you combed or brushed your hair, you blow dried it, or you did whatever procedure you do. You know, you put on your makeup or whatever the case may be. The guys, you got the razor out, you probably shaved, unless you're like really hip and cool, and then you got like 3 days stubble going on. Which you trim meticulously so it always looks like you don't care. I got 3 days stubble going on. Because in the material world, the body matters. Your health and your looks, that matters most. You see, over here in the spiritual world, it's not the body that matters most, it's the soul. That's what matters most over here. And the soul is all about, okay, if my soul is going to be healthy, I've got to be connected to God. You mark it down. Any form of spiritual health, any form of internal wholeness, whatever word you want to apply to it, it begins with a connection with the one true and living God, creator of heaven and earth, sovereign Lord of the universe. Somehow we have to be reconnected to Him, and then our soul can begin to heal and to get healthy. It's spiritual health. It means living a life that inside of my values, my attitudes, as well as what flows out of my life, it actually honors and pleases the God who made me, knows me, loves me, and in whom I have a relationship that is life. And so, in the material world, the body, that matters most. But in the spiritual world, the soul, that's what matters most. Over here in the material world, you know, what matters most is material gain. That's what matters most. I mean, in this world, it's like, look, if you really want to have a good life, you need cash. Right? You need stuff. You need a home, and you need cars, and you need toys, and you need like an iPad. I mean, dude, if you want to have a good life, you have got to have an iPad, because after all, it does things that can be done by everything else, but this is just cooler. And so in the material world, the more stuff you have, the more cash you have, and the more things that you would do because of the stuff you have and the money you have, that's like, whoa, that's the really good life. But over here, it's not about material gain. It's about, this is a cloud. It's about spiritual gain. It's you know, because how do you define that? It's about doing things that affect other people in a positive way for all eternity. It's about giving of oneself in such a way that other people are moved closer to God, better connected to God, and can experience life in God. It's living in such a way that the love of God is brought to bear in tangible ways in the lives of people who desperately need his loving and healing touch. And that's considered treasure over here in the spiritual world. That's what really matters because it transcends time. Now get this, it's also fascinating. You know what really matters most over here in the material world? Get this. Capabilities. I just put cape up for short. Capabilities. In other words, what matters in the material world is that I grow in my physical capabilities. I grow in my intellectual capabilities. I grow in those skills that I need in order to leverage them to be able to gain the stuff that I want in life. That's what matters most. How capable are you? But get this. Over here in the spiritual world, what matters most is character. Who am I as a person? Who am I? Am I honest? Am I sincere? Do I have integrity? Am I faithful? Am I loyal? Am I dependable? Am I giving? I mean, who am I as a person? That's what matters most in the spirit world. Now, please do not misunderstand me. I am not saying one world matters and the other doesn't. I didn't say that. Jesus didn't say that. He just said is, look, you got two worlds. They're both there. One matters more than the other. Not that one matters and one doesn't. One is worth being devoted to. The other is not, because it doesn't matter as much. I don't know anybody devoted to this world that doesn't go, well, you know, your soul is important, and you know, spiritual stuff matters, and character, that's a big deal. And I don't know anybody devoted to this world who doesn't go, you know, you need to take care of your body and not look like a total slob if you can help it. And you know what? Money is not evil. It's the love of money that's evil. And having stuff can be a blessing from God. And you know you need to grow in your capability as a human being and leverage that, I don't know, for things over here. Jesus goes, there's two worlds. There's a material world and there's a spiritual world. And these worlds, it's not bad and good. It's good and better. And here's the deal. You're going to have either a love-hate or a devoted, despised relationship with these two worlds. Because you can't serve both. You can't go, hey, they both matter to me, I'm going to balance them. Jesus said, can't do it. Jesus said you can't do it. He said either you love the one or despise the other. You know, the word love in this particular context means to be pleased or contented with something. And the word hate literally means just to be irritated with, to be bothered by something. He says, here's what's going to happen. One of these two worlds you're going to be really pleased with and contented to give yourself to, and the other is just going to kind of be an irritant. It's going to kind of be bothersome to do it. Or Jesus said you're going to be a devoted, despised thing. The word devoted is a word that literally means to keep something in front of you at all times. To focus on it intently. When I was learning to play basketball, because a lot of you don't realize what a basketball star I was. I wasn't, that's why you didn't realize it. But when I was learning to play basketball, basics of defense, right? That's the man you're guarding in man-to-man defense. You focus on him and you stay between him and the basket. That's the first thing I ever taught.